What is up, my fellow mobile gamers? In today's video, we got our first impressions review for the new upcoming mobile game, NBA All World. Subscribe, like, it is greatly appreciated. This is another one of those location-based games from the developers Niantic, most famously known for Pokemon Go. This is pretty much a very similar aspect, except instead of catching Pokemon out in the real world, you're actually going to be recruiting NBA players. The game is actually pretty interesting and fun with the whole concept of it. I know there's been other games that they've tried that haven't been as successful as Pokemon Go. I know there was a Witcher version, which I played, which was okay. I didn't really like that one. There was also a Harry Potter Wizarding Worlds one. The Harry Potter one was actually pretty decent. I played that for a bit. I kind of enjoyed that, but for me, it got boring kind of fast. See this game actually being pretty popular. I don't think it's going to be as good as Pokemon Go. I would say that this NBA All World is probably going to be Niantic's second best location graphical game like this. Now, I haven't gotten to try all of the features yet in this game because unfortunately for North America, where I am at in the United States, it hasn't fully unlocked. There are some countries that have early access as of right now when I'm recording this. I know Canada, I think, is one that has the game fully unlocked. What I did was I went ahead and I downloaded the latest APK version of this, so I'm able to actually play. Unfortunately, I do not get any of the randomly generated spawns, so I don't get anything to spawn on my map until January 24th. That is when the game is supposed to go live for North America, and I believe pretty much globally. So once that comes around, we'll go ahead and we'll do some more videos on that. But we can go ahead and we can kind of check out the menus, and I can still play the game and do certain things. So far, I've been really enjoying it. Regardless, though, I'm pretty much just kind of farming up my credits and my AW cash. So the game features two different currencies. You have credits, which is kind of the currency that is used for pretty much everything. You need the creds in order to upgrade your NBA players to the next level. You also needed to rank them up, which would be increasing their star count, which then also increases their overall maximum level. And the other currency they have is the AW cash. This is called the All World Cash. This is the premium currency that you can spend real money to get. However, you don't actually need to spend real money to get it. You can still acquire the All World Cash from just playing the game naturally, completing milestones, ranking high in arena tournaments. There's a bunch of different ways to get the AW Cash for free. Now let's get down to the gameplay, because this is pretty much where it's a hit or miss, and also the graphics as well. So the graphics are not the greatest. A lot of the character models are really like not that great. Like, they're really bad. Certain players, when you look at it, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, this doesn't even look like the player. It's like a butchered version of what they look like. Some of them look decent and passable, but other character models, and it's mostly just with the faces. The faces, just some of them look god awful. It looks like they fell down the ugly tree and hit every branch on the way down, or they got hit in the face with a frying pan. Some of them, like the faces, they need to do a better job with the faces, because they just, some of them look really bad. Aside from that, the arenas don't really have anyone in it. There's not like fans or anything. You're kind of just playing in this like empty arena, generic looking basketball court, just with the colors and the name change depending on the arena you're playing in. You don't really have anything around it. You just have the floor and then the basketball hoop, and then you just have like darkness all around you, so there's no crowd and anything like that. When it comes to gameplay, this is where it's a really tough learning curve. Now, at first, you're probably going to absolutely hate the core gameplay of it, of trying to like dribble and make moves and shoot and like do layups and slam dunks and stuff like that. It just feels really awkward, and it's a bit difficult to get used to. I honestly say give it a try, give it a chance. I know the first time I did it, I was like, what are these controls? I was so confused. I didn't really like it. But once you just play it more and more, you kind of understand it and you get used to it. The game is very mechanics heavy, where it's kind of like you touch the screen, your character does a set of animations, and then if you touch the left screen, your character does like a crossover to the left, and then the right is a crossover to the right side. And then you also have like a jab step. You can just tap it before you start dribbling. And then if you want to drive to the lane to try and do a layup or a slam dunk, you pretty much just will move forward with the touch screen. So just moving your thumb in a forward motion towards the basket will have your NBA player drive to the lane. There's not a lot to it. You really don't even need to necessarily have the best players. Computer generated players are really bad. There was a lot of instances where I was going up and I was playing defense, and the computer had the ball and they literally didn't do anything. The entire 24-second shot clock just went down, and they got a shot clock violation, and they got the ball back. Like they didn't do anything. They just dribbled the ball around. They didn't shoot. They didn't drive. So the AI in this game is really bad. It's, you know what I mean? It's not that great. The core gameplay is just, I feel like it's lacking. It's really not that good. I think the core gameplay is kind of like below average of what I would expect. I would kind of expect a bit more. I'm not sure how much they're going to be able to improve on the overall game mechanics of this. Hopefully in the near future, they kind of continue to update this and just kind of make it better. But there are times where it doesn't feel fluid. It feels very robotic. It's kind of like you tap a button and then you see the animation, and then you tap another button and you see the fluidity of it is really off. It doesn't feel fluid. It doesn't feel smooth. It feels like the moves and everything are so robotic, which I kind of don't like. Aside from that, when you're playing defense, you don't really have too much control over what your character does. If your character has really bad defensive stats, the player that has the ball can pretty much just cross you over and blow by you and score easily, and you can't do anything about it. The only thing you can do on defense is you have a steal button and a block button on the bottom of the screen. The steal button will have your character try and steal the ball. It's a gamble. If you kind of miss, then your opponent can pretty much just go ahead and drive to the lane freely. And then you also have a block button. The block button can be used when your opponent's doing a jump shot, or if you time it right, when your opponent is driving to the lane, you can actually see the animation of you blocking their layup or trying to block their dunk as well. A lot of this just comes down to stats. The higher your stat, the more forgiving the button will be when you need to press it. Meaning if you have a very high block stat, you can kind of time it in a certain way. When you see the animation of your opponent start to drive, then you can hit it. Whereas if your block stat is a lot lower, you kind of have to be a lot more precise with when you activate that block or when you activate that steal. Stay happy, stay safe. I'll see y'all later. Peace.